Good afternoon. So down here in the grower room, time to work on microgreens. So let's check in and see what's going on. All right, so lights are off right now, but we've got some microgreen, 4 trays of microgreens that we planted a week ago. Let me turn on a light for you here. There, we can see things a little bit better. So broccoli is looking beautiful. Now I did plant these quite a bit denser than what I had been. So we're gonna see how it turns out. The broccoli, the kale, and the radish were all planted planted quite a bit denser than what I had been. The peas I left the same at 10 ounces before the soak. Because 10 ounces pretty much covers the entire top of that 10-20 tray. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm looking for mold issues to make sure we're not molding in there, because it is, again, a lot more dense. I'm gonna look at how long it takes to harvest, and then what we get out of it for harvest and the quality of it, to decide whether this is something we should continue doing or if we need to step back down and not grow quite that density. So when I was watching them as they were germinating, the seeds seemed to be clumping together and germinating quite weird. I mean, you can kind of see there is a little bit of clumpiness here. So I did not see that before with the seed density, but I have been lately. So we're just going to keep an eye on them. We're going to grow these out. Now these are set. We'll see how they do. They might take longer with the density, but I had planned to harvest them in 2 days. I am out of town here for a couple of days on business, but then when I get back, the night that I get back, the plan was to harvest them that night, but we'll see. But otherwise, I mean, they're looking beautiful. But anyways, so I got that going on. I do need to plant some more. I've got 2 trays full of soil there. I need to get some more soil out and get a couple more trays filled. And then I'm going to plant probably 4 more trays. I did fail to start soaking peas last night, so maybe we're not planting peas. So I do have that to do. One other thing I have to figure out is this mess right here. So we've got some greens from the hydroponics that I had cut off because they had run dry. I've got some stacks of harvested 10-20 trays, and I've got a stack of trays that we had messed up on and didn't water, and so then we ended up losing them. So we are starting to see fruit flies down here in the grow room again, and I'm attributing it to this stack of soil. Just like if you have paid attention and watched us for a while, we had some onions growing here, and then we had an outbreak of fruit flies. As soon as I took that stuff out, the fruit flies disappeared. So need to get rid of this and clean this grow room up a bit. So what am I going to do with this? Well, let's see if we can't figure that out. All right, welcome to Minnesota winter. So as you can see, we got a little bit of snow. So that fenced in area right there is my outdoor traditional soil garden, which is where I normally have been taking the microgreen trays out to and dumping them. However, you can't quite, well, here, I'll back up, you can see my fireplace. We don't have a lot of snow. There's areas that have more, but we've got a couple of feet on the ground. And to try to get back there to the garden, I'm not going to go through that. Plus, the other thing is, unfortunately, this last year, things got away from us, and all of the fence posts, the fence is all still in, and unfortunately, underneath of the snow, the soaking garden hoses watering system is still underneath as well. So I do not want to bury those. Otherwise, normally I'd say take the microgreens out, trays out, dump them out, and in the spring till them in. So what am I going to do with that microgreen soil that's been used? So here's what I came up with. 55-gallon barrel. So I've got this 55-gallon barrel that was in my garage that I was going to use for other things. I had, now this barrel I'm going to move my weights here. Got a couple logs for the fire that I used as weights. Now this barrel does not have a top. And so I can put the microgreen soil in there for storage for now, but how am I going to keep the snow out of it? So I have a top from a barrel that was cut off, and I found if I put it upside down, it fits very nicely. And then I use those two pieces of wood as a weight to hold it down, so hopefully the wind won't blow it off. So let's get some microgreen soil and dump it in. Alright, well, there is a dozen trays of used microgreen soil. So it comes up to about the first ring, so about a third of the way full, but it's not even all the way across. So you know, I'll get a ways further before that barrel gets full. So hopefully the snow melts soon, and then I'll have to haul that barrel out into the garden and dump it out when the weather gets warmer. But we got a little more ways, a little farther to go before the snow melts. Unfortunately, it is snowing. I don't know as though the camera's picking it up, but it is snowing. So I think they're talking another 4 inches or something here. So yuck. That's all I have to say about it. But, oh well, such is life. We live in Minnesota. We deal with it. So, alright, let's keep going on with microgreens. I need to clean up these trays, get some soil ready, and then I think I might be mixing up some concrete and making concrete weights rather than using my ceramic mugs for the weights on the peas. I think I'm going to make a couple of trays full of concrete to weight them down evenly, and try that. I know some other people have used that, so let's keep on. All right, so this is the soil I've been using. This is a Pro Mix Premium All-Purpose Mix. I've been getting it from my local big box hardware store. It is really densely packed in here. It's 2 cubic feet, but because it is so densely packed in here, they say it's 4 cubic feet of soil. But that's what I've been using. The biggest thing with this is because it is so densely packed, I do have to cut it open and then break it up, and it's very dry. And right now, being winter, I'm doing this in the basement, so I do wear a face mask when I do this, just so I don't breathe in so much dry dust from the soil. And I've been wearing a face mask also when I scoop it out of a bucket into the grow trays. So I'm going to open up this bag. I am going to keep very good track of this bag and how many trays it does, because I haven't done that yet, to see exactly how much it costs me per tray, or how many trays I get out of a bag. So I've been using this, I think it's about a 4-gallon square bucket. It was formerly had pure roasted garlic puree in it. I get these buckets from a local food plant, so they're all food grade. A lot of them are garlic or orange juice. The 55-gallon drum that is outside that I'm putting the used soil in had tomato puree in it. So, get that from the same place. So anyways, let's get set up here and let's start opening this bag and filling this bucket with soil. So I'm going to sit right down here on a good old bucket. I've got my 4-gallon bucket that I'm going to put my soil in. I've got my Pro Mix, my brand new bag of Pro Mix soil here. And then, as I stated, I do wear a dust mask while I'm doing this, just to make sure I don't have that dust in my lungs. In the summertime, I'll do this outside, but for now, this is what I do. And I'm small enough right now where I'm not using a screen or anything to sift this. I'm just simply using my hands to break up the clumps. So, razor blade, let's get this open. So I do try to open these bags very carefully because, I don't take a lot out of here at a time. So I don't like to just cut it open through the middle. I like to take my time and cut the top open nice. So, but it is very, very densely packed in here. It's like a hard brick. So, but I just start taking it out and rubbing it together with my hands. And breaking it up. Now, if I do find any big sticks or twigs in here, I do tend to pull these out, just because with a thin layer of soil in the trays, I'm only using an inch or so, makes it very difficult, I find, for planting and growth. So I do throw those out. All right, so now I've got a nice full bucket of soil here ready to go. I really haven't used a whole lot out of this bale of ProMix soil. So I'm going to take this now in to the grow room. I do have a scoop that I use, and I'm going to start scooping this into the trays. I've got 2 that already have soil in them. Which was the last soil from the last bale, and now I've got 2 more trays to fill with this soil. And again, I'm going to be keeping very good track of how many trays I plant with this soil, so that I know how many trays I can get out of each bale here. So let's move back into the grow room. Okay, so back here in the grow room, I've got 2 trays from the previous bale of soil, and then I've got 2 more trays here from that I'm going to be filling with the new soil. So this is what we're going to fill and get ready to plant these 4 trays. So as I said, I had a scoop that I used, so I haven't figured out a number of scoops yet. I tried to count last time, but then I didn't write it down. So let's see what it takes. I think it's somewhere around 4 heaping scoops, I think. Yeah, I'd say 4 is a good number. Now this soil does look a little nicer than the old soil. I had that bale of soil open from some of my other experiments earlier on, so it had dried out, and I really wasn't using it as fast. This is a lot moister, I mean, as I feel it, and it's not as dusty. I almost could probably get away with not wearing the mask right now with this soil. So let's get the next tray filled. Again, I just pick out any big sticks or anything that I don't like that would interfere with the growth. One of the reasons that we kind of chose to go with ProMix over some of the other soils, Samantha actually did some research on some of the other soils, and they use part of their soil includes composted peanut. Well, the problem is with peanut is one of our children has a severe peanut allergy. Actually has to carry an EpiPen. So we try to stay away from that because we don't want the chance of her helping out down here in the grow room, touching the soil and having an allergic reaction. So we found that the ProMix was a good mix that from our research and calling the company did not have the peanut in it. So we felt that it was safe for us to use here in the house, and for our daughter to be able to help out here in the grow room, touching the soil and helping to feed the family. So so far we've had no issues with it. She's worked very well with it, had her hands in it, and no allergic reactions. So far, so good. All right, so I'm gonna wet all the soil down. The other thing I think I'm gonna do is, since I've got older soil and newer soil, and since I'm doing 2 trays of broccoli, I'm gonna do a little experiment. I'm gonna put one of the broccoli in the new, one of the broccoli in the old. I think I'm gonna put the kale in the new and the radish in the old. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go in the same order, basically broccoli, kale, radish, so I need to move some trays around. So we'll put radish down there on the end, broccoli, kale, so let's just switch this. So we're going to go broccoli in new soil, broccoli in older soil, kale in new soil, radish in old soil. So, alright, let's pump this up, wet down the soil. The longer hose on this sprayer works wonderful. It's so nice to not have to move that sprayer around. Just be able to walk around with this wand right here by the hydroponic, or by the, by the microgreens rack, and wet everything down. Much nicer. All right, let's get planting. All right, let's wet them down again. All right. I think the last project of the evening is to mix up some concrete and pour that into a couple of the trays so that I have weighted trays to use for peas next time. Maybe I'll only do one just as an experiment. That way I'm not wasting 2 trays. I've been using the ceramic mugs as you've seen if you've been watching. But I think this time I'm gonna, I've got some extra concrete left over from a project, so I'm gonna try it, see what happens. I guess worst thing is I waste 1 tray, but you know, not so bad. So let's get to that, and then we'll call it a night. Alright, so the last project of the night, I've got one of the 1020 trays here. Now this one, when I was washing it up, I did snap it a little bit. It's still usable. I could plant microgreens in it, but I decided maybe this was a good one for my concrete experiment, my concrete weight experiment. So I've got some concrete here in this ice cream bucket, some concrete mix that I had used for a different project that was left over, and I've got water here. So let's see if I can't get this mixed up. All right, let's pour. Maybe this is not the best thing to have it on. Maybe I need to set it all the way down on the floor because I'm seeing I've got it set up on a plastic bin, but it's bowing in the middle. I want it nice and flat. So let's move this bin out of the way, and let's go straight to the floor. I think that's heavy enough. I mean, feeling it, that's enough weight for those peas. I don't think I need any more. I don't think I need any more weight on it. So I'm just gonna spread this out so it's even. There. I'm gonna call that good. Let me give you a look at it here, and then we're just gonna let it sit there and let it harden up. So. So yeah, I don't know. Now this is a 2-inch deep tray. I've probably got half an inch or so of concrete in there. I'm just got it set down on the concrete floor of the basement here, and I'm just gonna let it sit here and cure. I think there's enough weight in there. It's more weight than what the ceramic mugs were giving. So I think that should be enough then to weight those down. That was, like I said, 1 ice cream bucket, about 4 quarts of dry mix, plus I don't know what it took for water. I probably got a little soupy, which is all right for what I'm doing. I don't expect this to, hold a truck or something on a driveway, but I probably put about 3/4 of a quart of water, because I had a quart mason jar and I used about 2/3 to 3/4 of it. So that's what I used for water mix, for water in the mix. And just, like I said, a little soupy, but that's all right. Spread it out. I'll let it set up and see how it looks. But hopefully that will become my new pea weight for germination. So if that works, I'll probably make a few more of them. But for now, 1's enough. All right, I think that finishes up the projects of the microgreens for tonight. Spent a little extra time at it. Now I need to pack up, get ready. I think I'm gonna do a haircut, stuff like that. Get ready, spend a little time with family, and then I am gone for 2 days. So today is Sunday. I won't be back till Tuesday night. I leave first thing Monday morning. Won't be back till Tuesday night. So just gone for 1 night, but 2 full days. So anyways, with that, we'll catch back up with you later. Thanks for watching, and take care.